maybe people won't believe me. You were ahead of the trend on this because you've been talking about it. But
thank you.
What is it and why have you been talking about it? Yeah, no, it's good for that to be known.
I have like only spent 10 years talking about this obsession that I have for people to then become obsessed with it, beat the horse dead, and like now I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
Embarrassed, and I would say at times you were a little bit angry. You were almost mad that
so
this was stolen from you.
Every time another celebrity posted their throwback pictures from 2016, I was like seething. I was like, Mandy, I'm so mad.
To the point that you almost wanted to cancel this, which...
Yeah, because I was like, well, who even wants to hear about it?
Yeah, we want to hear about it.
Well, I want to keep talking about it because I have been.
Okay, why were you obsessed with it in 2016?
Okay, so I need to set the scene.
Okay, set the scene.
In 2016, I was 20. It was really what I remember most was the summer that I was home from college. I had just finished my sophomore year. I was working with all of my best friends at like a tourist attraction where people tended to come in and like ask us if we could like if we knew where the Pokemon Go's were also. But it was just like such a fun time. Like I was like working with all my friends. It was like a service job. So like you just kind of like went out and partied every night because like there wasn't a weekend.
Right.
And you just like go to work hungover the next day. I think like one of my friends had a corporate job at the time. So like everyone was really kind of like not working a job with real responsibilities. And also on top of that, I was home in Toronto at the time and Drake had just released Views. That was also central to it. So it was like a really big, happy time. And if you go way back into my Instagram archives, I guess it's unarchived, but deep into like my first couple of posts, in September of that year, I had posted a selfie with a friend and the caption was "Missing You and Summer 16." So I've been missing Summer 16 since like the week it ended.
Since it existed.
I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's over. Like that was the best of my life and I peaked. I knew I peaked. I was like, it's all downhill from here.
Was that true?
You know what? There were some other peaks, but that was really up there. That was really up there. But what were you doing?
Okay.
In 2016.
I was 18, 19, because I'm a March baby. So, like, you know, split in there. I was in my sophomore year. Mm-hmm. And I was, freshman and sophomore. I was like, it was the year that I saw the world. Okay. Truly. Like, I went to Russia, which at the time is extraordinary.
Like, on a vacation?
No, I went with school. I was like a researcher, but I was the only one that didn't speak Russian or Ukrainian. So I was kind of just a blind mice, just like walking around Russia. Really cool, and I don't think I would ever have the opportunity after that. I went to Warsaw. Like, I just saw parts of the world that I'd never seen, and I think it's the most I've ever traveled, and they were all, like, related to school in some way. So it was, like, different forms of travel. I started drinking coffee, and I voted in my first election and experienced the first election.
Holy smokes.
Which was super memorable. Other than that, I was like taking panoramas still, which I think were on the outs, but I was kind of late to getting rid of those. Oh my
gosh. I
and
forgot about them.
I was uploading my Instagrams with like the white square around it, which I also think was on the outs. And I was like, I am going to put this on because I was like obsessed with Polaroids. So I thought I could convince everyone they were all Polaroids, and they weren't.
I think at that time that you still had to post squares. No?
Right, that's why. Yeah. So like you were like getting it formatted, but I think it shifts a little bit mid-year. I think I just clung on a little too long. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was pretty much my year. It was a really fun year, but I don't know.
Did you feel reminiscent for 2016? I guess before the
it was 2016.
No, before the trend popped off. Like when I used to talk about it back in 2025. Like,
yeah.
Were you ever like, oh, I also miss it?
I think I blurred a lot of my college years together. So like, I don't know if I would have said 2016 specifically. Yeah. I don't know if I could separate it from 2015. I could separate it from 2017, but I'm not sure I could separate it from the earlier than 2015. But in my mind, those are great. Like, those are great memories. So it's not crazy to me that this came about, but I wasn't, like, I was looking through my photos for this. Mm-hmm. Like, what was 2016?
Yeah. Well, people have, aside from me, people have been talking about it for some time. I know that it was, like, a big conversation on, like, Twitter, X. And there are, like, YouTube videos that date back to, like, 2021 that it's like music from 2016.
Yeah.
And those have like millions and millions of views.
Yeah.
And like there's like a Barstool blog from like 2021 about why people miss 2016, but it didn't answer the question. So yeah. But I kind of like really noticed people picking up on it. I guess kind of like end of last year, early this year. And it was like a lot of TikToks specifically from like younger Gen Z.
Yeah.
Using like the Rio de Janeiro filter, being like 2026 is the new 2016.
Yes.
No idea what that even means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw New Year's Eve parties that were themed 2016.
That's crazy.
And it was crazy because it was a mannequin challenge. So they're all just like in their frozen positions while they're going around. And I was like, that's kind of sick. But I saw that after New Year's Eve, you know.
Well, so I almost feel like it really blew up. And I might be wrong, but as I was watching it all unfolds, I feel like it really blew up when Fetty got out of prison.
Fetty written here. Fetty
January
crazy.
8th.
Yes.
January 8th, top of the year. And it really blew up.
And his bangers were actually from 2015, but they were like, that was the anthem of 2016.
Yeah.
Like they just like they blurred in, and like that was also the anthem of, I feel like, college. So like our age of Gen Z was like, that was like a solid core.
And also I think a lot of people associate music so much with 2016 that it's like, oh well, he's been gone. That's why music's been dead. Doesn't really make sense, but
yeah, we even saw on Instagram that there are like revival parties for Fetty, like welcome home parties.
Yes, there's like club nights themed Fetty, like welcome home.
Welcome home, which is like crazy. Yeah.
Crazy. But Kate, one thing I really wanted to talk about was how we literally watched in real time almost like this transfer of trend across generation. Like when I did first see it on TikTok early in the year, it was like definitely people who had never lived through, or I guess like really experienced 2016 for what we remember it to be, or like people are nostalgic for because they were too young. And then like the moment like the millennials caught wind of it, they were like, oh yes, our time to shine.
Right.
Like now I can embrace my Throwback Thursday once again.
Yes.
And like post all my old photos. And we literally watched the trend move from TikTok to Instagram.
Which is crazy to make that shift.
Yeah.
And it also is, I mean, I think it's just so much better on Instagram because that's what it was too. Like it doesn't really
TikTok
make sense for it for TikTok. Yeah, like what are you posting? Not only do millennials not know how to post, but they're not reposting their stuff. Like everyone just like unarchived stuff, like made the collages we used to make.
Yeah.
Like, people know how to do it on Instagram. So it was like, that was crazy. But yeah, that is a fascinating like switch. But I will say that there were 2.1 million TikToks with the hashtag 2016, which, by the way, TikTok was launched in 2016, but it didn't go international until 2017. But like this was kind of like our discovery this whole time looking into this year is like, wait, did everything actually happen in 2016?
Yeah, and
like,
it didn't.
Anytime you look things up though, you would be like, wait, was that 2016 or wasn't? And then it was like, that wasn't real English, or was it not, I guess? But like you would then realize that high key a lot of things did happen in 2016 though.
Yeah.
Like it is a more packed year than other years, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do feel like now talking about it is silly because literally everyone under the sun has posted, especially people who were like really thriving at that time. Like, that was the King Kylie era.
Yeah.
So like Kylie Jenner posted, Kim Kardashian posted. That was the year that she was robbed at gunpoint. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy.
Emily Ratajkowski posted. That was the year her and Kim Kardashian took that like topless selfie.
Wow, Kardashians had a big year.
Yep. Lena Dunham was also, she also posted one. She was kind of like big at it. Like Girls was still playing at the time.
Yeah.
But crazy enough, you know who I did see post? So brands have been posting.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess the brand that I'm going to say? Miralax.
What?
The brand posted being like, it was like their 2016 lineup and their 2026 lineup, and obviously the only thing that's the same is Miralax.
Wait, this
is not a paid ad, by the way. We have no sponsors yet.
Wait, that is really funny. Yeah, I feel like this trend is one of the few that I've seen recently where like no matter how big or small you are, you're like in it. Like random people posting theirs, corporations posting them, celebrities went through, and the celebrity ones were like kind of fun because you saw who's like friends and who's not anymore. But like it's all scales we're posting.
But here's the vibe I kind of got is that no one wanted to see any of this content. Looking through the answers of the survey.
Of our survey.
Of our survey.
Yes and no, because I feel like people also would separately be like, wait, this got me thinking. I'm like looking through my camera roll, which is like they want to see their own content. Yeah, I don't know if people want to see other people's content, but it inspired them to think about their own year.
Yeah.
And was like, wait, what was it for me? But yeah, I think you're right. They don't care about other people, which just might be like a human nature thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yes, you've been obsessed with 2016, but so people are obsessed now, and it's being branded as like the year before it all went wrong. Like it's like really dramatic, or like the best year ever, or like the last time.
good year.
Yeah,
Yes.
the last good year. Like it's like this really like, and you're reading these headlines and you're almost like, I'm like kind of startled. Like I'm like, shoot, is like the best behind me? Like, you know, like you're kind of like, whoa. Anyways, so it's kind of like what did happen in 2016, and what happened versus what do we think happened, and like how does memory in like a time now where like we've lived through COVID. I mean, it's still ongoing, but like that was a big portion of the past 10 years. Politics has been huge for the past 10 years. Yeah. And there's been a lot of like pretty heavy things that have happened. And so now we're looking back and we're like all kind of rosy glasses. Although there was really good stuff that happened too. Like we had banging music. Yeah. And I think that's probably like the superstar of the year was like the music. But we have like this kind of community culture almost, and like the trends we're doing, and like we're also going to talk a little bit about algorithm. But like social media was different. And it was like we're just in a different age. And that's why when we sent out this survey, I think a lot of people referred to it as, and by a lot, 23 people referred to it of the 120, which is a lot.
Use ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Because I think my number is even higher.
What's your number?
For fun?
Yeah.
31.
Oh, okay. 31 called it fun.
Yeah, of 120 responses.
I think if you did that for 2025, you would not get that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fun year particularly.
Sure, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't, I'm sure people disagree, but like on the vast majority, like I think 2016 was more of a fun year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also, we want to note that the people that answered the survey, so if you missed your opportunity, hopefully you could join us next time. We can reflect a larger sample size. The second most popular word was college. And that came up 14 times. But when I was looking at who filled out the survey, we did have people who said during 2016 they were anywhere from 11 years old to 53 years old. Shout out to my dad and Mandy's dad for being the only 50-year-olds at the time to have filled out the survey. But the majority of people were somewhere between 18 and 21, with the most popular age being 19. That was like about a quarter of the respondents.
Which we should say, this is obviously a sample survey. Like, this is by no means like the only data, but this is fairly indicative of our peer group because like at the time we were 18, 19, 20, and this was like kind of those transformative years where we're like we're shifting in college and like life is fun. We don't really have a ton of responsibilities.
Yeah. Okay, so also just to kind of give you an idea of the types of people who answered the survey, we had both men and women, but it was predominantly women. They represented about 60% of the respondents, and it was majority of people who were living in America during 2016. That represented 77% of the answers we got. We had some from Canada, about 20%. And then there were some few people who were in Europe, India, China, and Lebanon. One of the questions we asked was what trends they participated in. So we kind of gave them a list and they could choose which of the trends that they did participate in. Do you know what the top one was?
Oh,
do you want to take a guess?
Wait, it's bad because I should know this. Was it dabbing?
That was close. That was third.
Oh.
That one had 55% of people.
Pokemon Go.
Dabbed. That was not a popular one.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that one was less popular. It was actually the Snapchat dog filter.
Oh, yes, it was. I actually never read that. Yes. That's so good.
77% of people used the Snapchat dog filter. And the second most popular one was the boomerangs. 56% of our respondents posted a boomerang.
People are still high-key posting boomerangs.
People still post the boomerang, and that's how you know they're of a certain age group. You know what I thought would be more popular and wasn't?
Well, I guess besides Pokemon Go.
It was one that we both participated in.
No. Mannequin challenge?
No. The selfie sticks.
Oh my God.
Only 17% of people use them.
I think people aren't remembering how much they use them because I did have to look at photos to discover I was using them.
Also,
all of them have my arm like this.
I need to make a quick note. As I said, at the time I was working at a tourist attraction. We had busloads of Asian tourists that would come with their selfie sticks.
Yeah.
So that also was a big part of it. And I used one.
I 100%
I actually didn't get let into a club because I had one on my back and they were like, that's dangerous.
Also, both of ours were hot pink.
Yeah. I tried to fight the person who tried. Yeah, I know. The color was important.
It was so important.
Yeah.
Like a black selfie stick, boring.
It was kind of like in COVID, like once masks became normal and you're like, why do you have the blue one? Yeah. You have the hospital one.
You're like, that's lame.
Not cool.
Yeah,
not cool.
So not cool.
Yeah, and then also 7 people did not know. Well, we didn't ask. We just wrote "Damn Daniel" and let everyone else fill in the blank. And there were actually 7 people who did not know "Damn Daniel."
Okay, I wanted to talk about this because this was like the answers were telling to me because those people that didn't know, most of them, I think my dad probably put a question mark, but I think the other ones said, "What are those?"
Wrong meme.
Which is the wrong meme.
Wrong meme.
And it's this idea, though, that goes along with, like, what are we remembering? Like, because they knew Damn Daniel, so they're, like, thinking they're replying, but they're just kind of confusing things. So, like, how many things are we kind of muddling and blurring? And it's like both of those are funny, and both of those were separate. But, like, everyone's kind of like, oh, it's kind of like the same. So it's like, how many things are we, like, not able to parse out from 2016? And we're just kind of like, they were online culture.
Very
like,
important that it was not. It was very much different.
Super different.
Yeah.
But,
and
like,
do you know the answer to the other half of Damn
Daniel? Oh, it's Damn Daniel. Those are the white fans. No, wait. Damn Daniel. I do know. Do I? What are those?
Back at it
again with the white fans.
He was actually on Ellen, I think.
He definitely was on Ellen, and What Are Those has nothing else. That's it. That's probably why people filled it out. It's so much
What
easier.
Are Those was not on Ellen.
No.
So I just want to say it's not as big.
But there's no other part of it. Like, damn, Daniel, you got to think. Back at it again with the white fans.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it. We got it unlocked now.
So we also asked our respondents to share with us a core memory from 2016. And there was a big year for a lot of our respondents. Someone got a new job. Someone saw Bruce Springsteen in New Jersey. A lot of people were driving for the first time, like by themselves. Someone traveled internationally for the first time. One of our respondents was partying in Ibiza on his brother's dime, her brother's dime.
I actually think that's my sister, so yes.
Oh, okay. So that sounded like a sick time. Someone bought their first dog. Someone collapsed a ceiling at a house party.
Yeah.
And a couple of these really stuck out to me. One was that I was drunk in a frat a lot, and I think I was never happier. That really encapsulates the year. And also someone said, this one is just crazy because they gave us like their daily routine. Summer 2016, going to the club until 3 a.m., getting shawarma, walking home, playing Pokemon Go. Don't know if it was like they went home to play or they were playing
on the way.
Yeah. The next morning, making a picture of powdered Gatorade and then running to the bus to start my 8 a.m. shift at H&M, then doing it all again the next night.
Wait, that's beautiful, though.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite one, and I'm going to have to read this, and I'm missing some words from my own handwriting, but I thought this was hilarious. And if you know this person, feel free to shout them out. But it was my 20th birthday, and I was drinking margaritas at a Mexican restaurant with a fake ID. My mom was so kind to send a cake with candles, but the candles were 2-0, and so she blew my cover.
I immediately need to know more.
Good. That's so good. It's just like an innocent time of like carefree, like honestly semi-stupidity and fun. And it's just like, okay, like whatever. Yeah. Like, oops.
Okay, also quickly, there was someone else who said performing the life of Pablo a cappella for my mom after getting my wisdom teeth taken out. I wish there was a video of that.
Good.
That's amazing.
Getting your wisdom teeth out too is like, no matter what year that is, that's kind of a core memory because that's like the first time you've ever been that high.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you're too young to have had hard drugs like that. So 2016, known for a lot of things. Some things that I think might have flown under the radar with some people is that 2 absolutely banging animated films came out, and that is Zootopia and The Secret Life of Pets. And like, oh, flames. Like, honestly, maybe I haven't been as nostalgic for 2016 because I can watch those all the time. So, like, I am living it. You know what I mean? Like,
your favorite movie is Zootopia.
And it's crazy. I haven't seen the second one yet. So, like, I am a fraud right now. But Secret Life of Pets, fire. But I will also note that it was Stranger Things came out, and I am a scaredy cat. And I vividly remember having to watch it with people. And season 1 was really good.
Where were you watching it with other people?
What do you mean? I would sit in bed with Lindsay and Mia, and we would watch it.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, I feel like when I was in college, I watched most of the stuff on my laptop in my bed. So I was like, where were you watching?
You had to watch it next to someone.
You were like, get in bed with me. I'm scared.
It was so scary. But then we also had, and this is what I mean, I feel like there was it felt like we were all kind of included in more things. And, like, that came through with the mannequin challenge, which was just, like, hilarious. Juju on the Bee. I know your sister
My sister did that.
Which was great. It also felt like the memes were more wide. Like, it was more known what meme people are talking about. So, like, if I said this, would you know? Cash me outside. How about that?
Okay, yeah, that I know.
I mean, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
And, like, could you name her name?
Bad Baddie. Doesn't she have a rap career?
Okay, yeah, but would you know her real name?
No.
Yeah, see? Like,
No.
it was just like, but it was like for vibes. Like, we just like.
The memes were good.
There was vibing with Dr.
And
Phil.
also,
like,
you could participate in meme culture without being chronically online.
yeah.
Like, now you have to be online all the time because the trend cycles so fast.
Right.
That it's like, it's over by the time it made it to your For You page.
You miss it. But, yeah, and also, that was the era of clowns and dabbing. Like, there was just like a lot of things going on around us that felt like you kind of knew what was going on, though. Like, it wasn't like
Stranger Things the same time as the clowns? Because I could see why you were scared.
I was
like,
literally
if those
scared.
things were happening at the
Stranger
same
Things
time.
is scary. And I just stopped watching it because it got too scary.
The clowns are taking over the college campuses. Like, people were scared on the campus.
It was crazy. But it was maybe inclusive in the fear. Like, it was kind of like you were all in on it almost.
Okay.
So that does feel like it sets the year apart a little bit from other ones.
Yeah.
Especially from today, I guess.
Definitely more of a community feeling. Even like Pokemon Go being so big, like that was a thing where you had to go outside to play. It wasn't like you were just gaming on your phone.
Right. That's interesting about Pokemon Go because we can just go into politics if you want. Because like
Pokemon Go to the polls.
That was crazy.
Let's hear it.
Okay. My comments on politics is, especially how you noted earlier that the summer is really like the core of your 2016 experience.
Yeah.
I do think most of the nostalgia, and we kind of saw this in some of our answers, is really pre-election.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that people that voted for Trump aren't nostalgic for the year, but it just doesn't feel like that like November, like it doesn't seem like there was that crazy stuff that happened there. It does feel like a front-loaded year in terms of like all the music and the movie and like the joy did come pre-election regardless of like your political views. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of people, that was also their first election they voted in, and that was like a deeply emotional election for people. Yeah. And also there was like a potential for a woman president, and a lot of people had a lot of hope, and there was also like this idea of like an outsider can make change. Like there was just like a lot of different feelings about it. So I think
that's maybe on both sides, like both Republicans and Democrats, like, oh, an outsider,
right,
or someone who's not conventionally, because I guess Hillary Clinton's not really an outsider, but like she's a woman, so like someone who was not conventionally in the role of president had the chance of it. So I think that was kind of like optimism for both, and it was like an election. The last election where the sitting president couldn't run for re-election.
It's not a re-election.
So you really had candidates from both sides
that
people were excited about, rather than it was like the old guard versus
and
someone
like
else.
this is happening on college campuses as always, but like this is the age group that's there. The thing I thought that was funny I saw like a little compilation of the 2016, like is 2026 the new 2016, whatever, on the trend that were all of the Republicans who had denounced Trump in 2016 who are now amongst his closest supporters or cabinet members.
Wow.
And that was really funny to me because it's like, boy, does a decade change things.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, like this goes on, Elon Musk. Like,
So there's
a lot. And it's like, whoa, that is kind of crazy. But like, that is a formative election year regardless. And like, it's still staying power.
Well, I actually want to point out that when we were asking people to give us the words that most describe their year, Trump came up just as much as the words formative, freshman, friends, wild, adventure, and exciting. Yeah. So it was like a big thing for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. There were also there were a lot of people who felt like it was a core memory for them. Yeah. 9 of the 96 responses on a core memory mentioned Trump. Right. Not all of them had necessarily feelings towards it, but they remember the election being
huge deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I also think the college, like a lot of these people being on college campus amplified it. Because this was like, A, my first election, B, my first time watching an election with people. Yeah. And like surrounded in a room, and it's an evening, and you're watching the needle go a different way than maybe you had expected. And it's crazy. Like the whole experience of like a public performance of it is also definitely formative. Okay. Outside of politics.
You want to turn to music?
What we got? Yeah.
Okay, so big music year.
Big music year.
Big music year, so much so that we asked people what their top 3 songs were just so that we could narrow it down because there was a lot of really good music. And should we go from third to second and first?
Oh, fun, yeah.
Okay, so the third most popular song for people was, that answered the survey, sorry, caveat. Yes. Was One Dance by Drake.
Which you got it.
Was obviously on my list. That was 28% of people selected that as one of their top 3 songs. Number 2 was Broccoli by Drum. Was that on your list?
That's so good. No, but like it could have been. It's like it's hard to decipher the 3.
That was selected by 37% of respondents. And the number 1 song, you want to guess?
Well, I know it, and it's also on mine, so you should just say
it. It's on mine too. Closer by the Chainsmokers.
Yes.
And really important to know that Halsey was also on that song.
Yes. And, okay.
That was nearly 70% of people.
I want to jump in that, yes, we understand our poll might have been a smaller sample, but our poll mirrors not far from Nelson's 2016 data findings.
Oh, okay.
So the biggest song of the year in terms of total activity, which they define as sales and audio streaming equivalents, was Drake's One Dance.
Wow, okay.
Closer by Chainsmokers, featuring Halsey, and Work by Rihanna, featuring Drake.
Okay.
So these are like fairly representative.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's also kind of crazy when we're talking about this, like, everyone was kind of in on the same thing. Like, we were all kind of part of the same vibe.
Was there a song that you were, like, surprised that wasn't as popular because it was so big for you?
I mean, anything Sia, like, Cheap Thrills was, like...
But that one seemed pretty popular on the survey.
I mean, Panda was also pretty popular. That was a big one. I mean, Closer, like, I just knew. Like, there's just no way you could walk outside without hearing Closer that night. Mm-hmm. Like, it would have been a weird night. Like, I would have been jarred.
Yeah.
If it didn't come out. Was there one for you?
I also loved Never Be Like You by Flume.
Oh, so
But that was like a fall song.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my head.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one, though.
Yeah. There were other big cultural moments. We asked our respondents what their defining sports moment was. And the biggest one was the Summer Olympics in Rio. That was more than a quarter of respondents. That was a big Olympics. That was like Michael Phelps' last games. That was like the year of Simone Biles and the Final Five.
Yes. Who also did a post.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And people liked that.
And Usain Bolt, I think, broke a record in Rio as well. But I swear he's always breaking another record. So I stopped keeping track. But also there were also 20% who were like me and said none.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the year was defined by sports for me, personally. But.
Yeah, the actual second most popular one to the Olympics was a music event at a sporting event. It was the Super Bowl halftime show with Beyonce and Coldplay.
Yeah.
And also, do you know what the most popular fashion trend was? Did you look at that data?
Is it I did. Was it ripped jeans and army jacket? Which
No, it was ripped jeans.
Bomber jacket.
Which I actually brought just to show the audience.
Oh, yes. Ripped skinny jeans,
These
too.
are the last ripped jeans I have. I tried to put them on
close to jeggings, yeah.
Yeah, close to jeggings.
Yes.
The ribs are actually quite small.
Yeah.
I had a pair that were like ripped, like several rips.
Above, yeah. And my dad would be like, what, did a bear attack you? Like, it was like...
So I wore them so much that it became one giant hole.
Oh, yeah. It was the worst when you kept dragging
And then
them.
I was like, I gotta throw them out.
Yeah, and then you're like
Anyways,
barely wearing pants.
That's a artifact from 2016.
And lip kits were huge. But like, I remember the army jacket for me, but I think our people said bomber jackets were bigger for them.
Also, chokers.
I
wore my choker every night out. I was like, where's the choker?
So good. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little restrained by chokers, so I wasn't
Thinking
as
back?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it. Like I love the look, but I was a little like, guys, are we like drinking in these? Like it is a little like you know?
I loved it. And 54% of our
Other
respondents
people
also wore one.
Yeah.
So
No, people were in it. That's
I never
for sure.
really deviated though from like the simple black choker. You know how people did
Yes.
like almost like chain ones or
I
like,
deviated. I wore a daisy one to spring fling.
You're a fashionista.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Something that's crazy about 2016 to me was the technology stuff.
Okay.
And what's crazy about it to me is that, and this kind of goes into the like, this was the last good year vibe.
Yeah.
So in March 2016, Instagram just like, whoop, like completely changes its vibe.
Ugh.
It changes the algorithm.
It killed the vibe.
It killed the vibe, which is so interesting that everyone is like still reflecting on it when this happened pretty early on. But I guess it just like didn't trickle.
Yeah.
It didn't hit our minds yet, I guess. But they changed the algorithm so it's no longer time chronology based.
Yeah.
It's like what they think you might miss and what you should see, and like it comes in little Big Brother-y vibes where it's starting to be like we're all now seeing things. Seeing things that they think would be the best for us, quote unquote, which is like, what does that mean? What was interesting is that The Atlantic wrote in 2016, right when this came out, that adopting this algorithm feed will likely alter the ethos of the social network, turning it from a simple chronological list of experiences of your friends having fun to making an implicitly ranked array of content. And that, end quote, is just going to forever change social media, honestly.
Yeah.
That is also interesting when you pair it with that later that year, stories are introduced. And
There are no stories?
remember when stories come because it's like you're stealing Snapchat. You stole Snapchat. I remember being defensive.
Okay, hold on. If there were no stories, what were people posting boomerangs on? The grid?
Yeah. Wait, people are posting on the grid all the time.
Boomerangs on the grid?
Yeah. Brunch.
Shield my eyes.
Brunch. Well, stories, it's also, they're posting boomerangs on stories when they come out.
Okay.
But like not in January.
That's when boomerangs really took off.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
Oh my
like,
gosh, I forgot about that. I thought they had already existed.
I remember being mad about it because I'm a huge Snapchat girly, still active. And I was like, no, I don't want all my friends to leave Snap because we already had Instagram. So I knew they were posting on it, you know, like we were using Instagram, but we weren't using them for stories. So Snap was like the little inside peek. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm as nostalgic for the, like, that's why I'm like 2015, guys.
I still don't. Yeah, but I
2015.
also still don't think that stories took off the way that they hoped it would from Snapchat.
For a while. I agree.
No, but even now, because I feel like, yeah, people have close friends, but no one posts, like, people used to post endless Snapchat stories.
And like
You know.
stupid stuff. Like I guess that's what they're doing with
Yeah.
close friends now, but it's like
But
so
even
annoying.
then, yeah, like, what am I going to
go-
selectively pick people? And then
Who
people
is
do
sitting
it.
down and is like, I want this person to see and not this person.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's more like if you had the privilege of being added as
yes.
my friend.
If you were
had
my
access.
friend,
Yeah.
you saw my highs and you saw my lows. Like, and that was
100%.
good. That's why I'm like, that part is interesting that everyone's nostalgic for it. And then I would say, okay, generative AI is really not hitting it for us. That's like
Yeah,
2022.
There was
so like,
no AI.
that's really notable because like we are deep in it right
I
now,
think-
which is
I think Gen AI had just been introduced because they had the AirPods.
oh,
It was like the second generation of the AirPods had just come out, and it was like, oh, this is like AI like driven.
okay, but we're not
I might be
using
wrong.
we're not
I need to
using
fact
AI. At least like our generation isn't using them in our day to day at all.
There was no AI.
Like we don't know what chat is. We don't like. I'm sure like researchers are and like scientists,
Yeah.
but like no one was doing that in college. Like no one knew how to like.
You had to write your own essays.
Yeah, you had to struggle and stay up and do it.
And I'll tell you a story. I have a friend who I know from high school. I'm so sorry I'm outing you here. I won't say your name. And we went to college together for our freshman year. She ended up transferring to a different school. But we were in the same classes. And she is a little bit of a procrastinator. And she would like not write her essays until the very last minute. And I remember we had an essay due that morning at like 10. And I got a frantic call at like 6:30 in the morning, sobbing. And she's like, I've been up all night and I haven't written a single word. Like, what should I do? And I was like, I don't know. You got to hand in something.
Yeah. Just type letters.
But like, that's how bleak it
and
was.
then say your file is corrupted.
I couldn't be like AI, right? Just like the
yeah, you couldn't
ever.
But like you're smarter and creative for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Twitter was Twitter and was more itself, but it did introduce more algorithmic stuff there. So it is like kind of a change of Twitter, but it is very different than the X we see today.
Right.
Facebook still was like alive, but it was a little more backburnery. But like there were still people that would be on Facebook. We weren't posting albums, but like you still would check birthdays and like there was like a little more engagement there. Mm-hmm. It's the official end of Vine, which is like
R.I.P.
But maybe not. You know, like maybe not R.I.P. Maybe welcome back. Because like
yes, also a great point.
Yeah, Uber Eats going. So honestly, in the tech realm of things, it feels like this is like starting the shift of like entering a more divisive and less like mass culture-y type of like more individualistic, like sort of like aggressive algorithmic time.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that everyone's feeling nostalgic for it. But I think they're just feeling maybe nostalgic pre these impacts.
Yeah. And there was no TikTok, so
no TikTok, which is like
a big thing.
A huge diff. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the fact that even though a lot of people are like reminiscent of the good days of 2016, it wasn't all good.
Right.
And there were some really bigger, heavier issues. One person brought up that was the same year of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, which at the time was the deadliest mass shooting in America.
49 people and 58 wounded. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. And people like completely forget, I guess, what year it was, or I completely forgot.
Yeah, I didn't remember what it was.
But I was doing like a deep dive, and there was also the war in Syria. Mm-hmm. In the U.S., there was the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. Yeah, it was January of that year that President Obama declared a state of emergency. And then that was also the year that there was the Bastille attack in Nice.
I know.
Do you remember that?
Which is a month after Pulse, which is crazy.
Yeah, crazy. And it was also the same year as the Philando Castile shooting, which was in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
And that was basically caught live on Facebook Live, which I guess was kind of like new for its time.
Yeah.
Because that was like really when we see the uptick in people starting to film these kind of police encounters or situations. Yeah. There was also the Brock Turner sentencing was that year. And this was all pre-Me Too because Me Too didn't come till the year after.
Yeah.
Harambe was also shot.
Yes.
That was a big core memory for a lot of people who answered our survey.
Yeah.
That was at the Cincinnati Zoo. And then a bunch of people, famous, passed away that year. Mm-hmm. David Bowie, Prince, Muhammad Ali, Nancy Reagan, Anthony Scalia, Alan Rickman, Gene Wilder. And for the media folks, that was also the year that Hulk Hogan took down Gawker in a massive, massive lawsuit.
Yes. It also, for our European friends, was Brexit, which is also later in the year. So that like kind of dovetails with like this election, like with our timeline of stuff. Like politics seems to have come later, which maybe is why everyone is remembering earlier.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like, because there's not that much earlier in terms of that.
Well, so one of the things I wanted to touch on was that at the time, like 2016 was not a good year. Like many people were declaring it one of the worst in history. Somehow its PR has done wonders and made it the last good year. But like at the end of that year, there was a New York Times opinion piece titled like 2016 worst year ever. Wall Street Journal did an article called A Night to Bid Good Riddance to a Crummy 2016. And the lead was, quote, all around the city, night spots are throwing parties to capitalize on widespread bitterness about 2016. Slate published a story that was, is 2016 the worst year in history? And then there was also responses to all of those questions of like stories from NPR that was like, should we all just stop calling 2016 the worst? Washington Post did one titled "Stop Saying That 2016 Was the Worst Year," and even the New Yorker did one that was like, "It's the worst year until next year." That was Gia Tolentino. So
are these all about the election though?
I think it was like end of year stories that were like the election was fresh.
Yeah,
but I think that it was a kind of like feeling among a lot of people that was like, can we just get this year over with and move on to 2017?
Yeah. I think if the year had been split after September, like there would be no mention of it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's like it was so fresh off the wound for a lot of people, the election, that it clouds your stuff, which is like also what nostalgia does. Like when you separate and then you remember things, you don't like put them necessarily in the order that they were. And so you're like, you're feeling this way towards something that you thought you loved the whole time. But in reality, a lot of us maybe struggled in 2016.
Yeah.
Which is also normal for this age group. Like everyone struggles in transformative years anyway.
Yeah.
So like it's good and it's bad and it's the ugly and it's the fun.
And you can look back and be like, oh, I was so carefree. But I also remember like at that time, like I had a small paycheck. Like I was having fun on the paycheck that I had. And it's funny because I like look back at my photos and I'm like, wow, the times where like the summer where I like really felt like I was doing something or like doing kind of like cooler experiences was when I was like at a desk job. And like I remember being miserable, but that was also the year where I like took my first trip with my friends and we like flew to Chicago. Like but I didn't have the money to do that when I was like working a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay, so why do you think so many people are obsessed with 2016 right now?
Well, obviously now it's because it's been 10 years. Like I think the anniversary news peg as a journalist is like the biggest thing. Obviously, one of the big things we talked about was youth, like everyone being younger. And I think this was kind of interesting. A couple people that noted this in the survey was that the music felt summery. And it was actually like when we asked people what you would bring back from 2016, that was the most popular answer. It was the music.
Yeah.
That was more than 15 people had actually pointed that out as the thing they would want to bring back. But this was kind of built on like what you mentioned about the algorithm. I think it really was the last time we had monoculture where we like were all experiencing the same reality on and offline.
And like monoculture that was less curated. Like it was unhinged behavior at times. Like monoculture in that we were all like posting our Snapchat dog filter selfies, not like looking beautiful at a gala or something. You know what I mean? Like it was like a much raw vibe, which I feel like is kind of this like, it's good to look back and be like, that's where everyone thinks it's so carefree. Because it's like, wow, I didn't really care. I didn't look amazing in that and I posted it.
And like there were still influencers in 2016, but I think there was such a starker division between normies and like celebrity.
Right.
And now that line bleeds because it's like, oh, you have so many followers on whatever app.
200,000.
Like, yeah, like is that person famous? But then it's like, oh, well, I know someone who kind of like gets these perks.
You either like had a name or you didn't.
Yeah.
It's like you have clout or you don't. Like,
also quickly back to like youth. That was one of also the most common responses of what people would bring back from 2016. People said my abs, my body, my hairline.
Yes.
Life comes fast.
Yes. Okay, the other thing I think is that it's like a perfect nostalgia note. Yes, the 10 years really helps. But I think because so much has changed in these 10 years, which things obviously change every decade, but it does feel like these past 10 years have been like super packed with things, whether it be tragedies, world events, politics. Like it just does seem like it's a harder time. COVID is obviously just going to take away more than other years. I think there is an element of sort of like escapism and using nostalgia as a way to like not feel so isolated now. Like I feel like right now, like everyone's kind of like struggling. And, like no one like knows what to grab onto almost. That it's like, oh, look at me and my friends in college back then. Like we had good. Like this is great. Like I'm so like loved. Like this is so amazing. And like right now, like things might seem really dark around me, or like I might feel alone because like these algorithms have like incredibly polarized us.
Yeah.
And it feels like there was polarization back then for sure, but it doesn't feel like it was at the level that it is today.
Yeah, and I guess I'm curious if you think that we could even return to the way that I guess not just like trends, but culture was a little bit more community based because like, here's the thing, like this trend, especially on Instagram, was a lot like the trends we saw like with the mannequin challenge and like the water bottle flipping challenge. And like, those were things that everyone was doing. And like, I remember you used to like watch them and like you enjoyed watching other people's content.
Yeah.
But the reception we got was that no one wanted to see other people's 2016 posts.
Yeah.
So like is also the reception of the trend gone where like no one really wants to engage with it. They just want to like partake and then step out.
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting.
Because I feel like people used to watch the mannequin challenges, even if they weren't doing one, because they're like, this is funny.
Yeah.
But like no one's like, oh, like what were you doing in 2016? Let me look through your...
Yeah. Although I was looking through people's, I will say.
Okay. So,
but yes,
right.
I think...
Call me out.
No, I think that there was like a part of you that wanted to look through as in like in a comparison almost.
Okay.
Because you technically already knew it. I think that may be why as well. Like,
yeah,
you know what they, I mean, after the 30th post, you knew what the next one was. Like, I wasn't like, wait, no way. Like, once you put together all these things happened, it wasn't like that exciting to see your 40-second post. Like, it was like, okay, I don't know if I have to check on hers. But like, I think the initial I was excited about. Okay. Because I was like, wait, what was that? And like, did I do that? But then, yeah, I agree. It totally tapers off.
I will also say that mine was like a little bit tinged with anger.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just pissed that everyone got it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, now everyone wants to be part of this. I also think it's funny because there were a few comments about the economy. I don't really remember the economy at the time. But there was someone who said, because we asked why they thought other people missed 2016. And someone said, quote, because all we did was live, laugh, love. And now we can't live, laugh, love in this economy. And I mean that.
And that's true. And that's also, that's like we're aging and everyone's, but okay, this is part of the nostalgia of it. Yeah, like we're all now at the age where it's like the people in this survey have largely, they're now at corporate jobs when they maybe weren't, or like full time at least. They are in this like rat race of the world where it's like, are you getting engaged? Are you getting married? Are you having kids? Like they're just like at the phase of their life where it's like responsibility, paycheck. Yeah. Like there's just bills are due. And it's like, yeah, obviously you're going to like the time a decade later when you were just like, Coronas for $5, let's go. Like that's just so different. And like the economy could be different, but it could be also like what you're spending on.
I do also think that the expectations have changed. Younger people aspire to have like their expectations of like what is a good income for them is significantly higher than what millennials or boomers or Gen X would say. So that is also interesting because I think like on top of having those high expectations, having to actually work and make money, and then being fed all these messages about like inflation, it's kind of like hard to really compare because like you were a lot younger in 2016 and like, you know, like you were making not enough for the government to be taking that much in taxes.
And you were like considering like buying like bacon, egg, and cheeses. Like you weren't like considering like bigger purchases as much. Like you were just like a college kid that was like trying to eat.
Yeah, 100%. You weren't planning vacations.
Right.
Yeah. Is this year the new 2016?
That's the best way to say it, Katherine. And I'm really glad you broke it down.
You got an answer for that?
Okay, my answer is that I don't think so at all. I think that we're just romanticizing it and like nostalgic for it. I don't think we're making this year it.
I don't even understand what that means. So I can't answer the question.
I think it means that they're trying to bring back these things. But like I haven't seen anyone with a Snapchat filter. Have you? Like outside of the post. Like no one's doing it organically. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff is contained to the post. These like remake of the trends. Like they're not reviving them.
Yeah.
They're just like
re-upping things that were already
reorienting us to them almost. But they're not like actually making them again.
Yeah. I think also like there were just so many things that fed into this like quote unquote vibe that people are chasing that it's like things cannot all line up like that.
Yeah.
And here's my thing is that like it's crazy because this trend really picked up like the beginning of the year. I think there's a statistic from TikTok that said searches for 2016 went up by 452% in the first week of January. So like that was like when it really picks up. We see like blast of content and like now it's like so oversaturated.
Yeah.
That I'm so surprised you got to the end of this podcast. But so oversaturated that it's like in a month, don't you think people are going to be like, I don't even want to be 2016 because it's so annoying.
Right. And again, how are we making it 2016? Are we going to get and like make the record deals? Like
Fetty got out of prison and that was it. We won't know until he makes another record.
Yes.
If it's the new 2016.
Trap Queen 2.
So it all rests on you, Fetty.
Okay, which brings us to our touch grass test, which is basically if people weren't posting all the posts they're making, all these collages with like hashtag 2016, whatever, do you think that there would still be this trend and this nostalgia and this turn towards 2016 if it was just kind of like taken offline essentially? Or are we just like are we self-fulfilling this trend?
Well, personally, I would obviously be on my 2016 soapbox. But no, I don't think people would. Like, I think maybe there would be like a look back on like what you were doing 10 years ago. I don't know if there would be like widespread mass nostalgia for that particular year.
I think it would be 2015 because I think a lot of this is rooted in people feeling isolated and divided, and like I think that a lot of that has to do with politics, and I think that the last election, which was in 2025, would have been the 10-year mark that I would have expected people to maybe cling to more because that is more you know what I mean? But I think the music is like really what pushed it to 2016 almost
okay.
in my opinion.
Okay, so is that, if you were to have people bring back a year, is that the year you would choose?
2015?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting because I've brought it up so many times in this that I should have had that my answer, but my answer was 2012 for a very silly reason, I think.
Coney. Is it Coney?
No, but that's so funny. I actually forgot that.
That's
huge.
A core memory for me.
Huge.
No, I was the person who was duped.
Yeah.
We can go into that.
We were all kind of duped. Did you ever use Draw Something?
No. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
14 and crushing it on like virtual Pictionary was different. Like that was so fun.
I didn't find it that fun, but I partaked.
Oh, I loved it. I had my braces off. Like I just felt like it was a better year. That was another Olympics year, which was London. That was cool. I'm pretty sure the Hunger Games come out that year. I remember crushing them the year before in books, and I think the movie comes out that year. We can double check that. But all around 2012 was kind of a good year, in my opinion, because it was like peak adolescence too. Like 14, you're kind of like.
I do remember there was like some notable things from 2012. I don't really remember exactly. Actually, I think I was deep in my like One Direction obsession.
Ooh, yes, One Direction. Like I think it was just like, I think it was a good year to be my age, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how we feel about 2016. Yeah. It was a good year to be our age.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe it would have been 2015. I'm not sure. What would be yours?
Okay, so this might be controversial. So I almost said 2020, but then I like really thought about it and I was
That's a hard no.
So I guess, well, because there are things I think that like in the pandemic, it's more like if I could go back and do things differently.
So you want to bring us back into world
that's
lockdown?
What I think about. So anyways, I settled.
So Katherine can do it differently.
I settled on 2019, which was right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Personally, I had just moved to New York like August of 2018. So like this was my first summer in the city. I kind of felt like a real adult. And it was also a really big music year. That was like Billie Eilish's year. Yeah. She really blew up that year. And Ariana Grande had released Thank You Next and Seven Rings. Mm-hmm. And also, biggest hit of the year that year, Old Town Road.
Oh my God, did it slap.
The rise of Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X,
and that's just before Billie Ray Cyrus.
Yes.
Yeah. You know.
I originally put 2019 down because it was my graduation year, and I just feel like that's such a fun year. But I don't know if there was anything other than that holding it to me.
Well, okay, it was also, speaking of algorithms, like at this point we had already been used to like, okay, we're 3 years into the non-chronological Instagram feed. But there were still no TikToks. There was no such thing as like a For You page where like everyone was getting different stuff. And this was actually the year that the photo of the egg became the most liked post on Instagram.
Which is crazy.
And that was a community effort. It was like, everyone go like this post so that it has more likes than Kylie Jenner.
This trend, in a way, though, is bringing the community back together. Just temporarily. Yeah. Like, just everyone's... And it's weird because, like, we're not doing it together, though. Like, it is still kind of individual. Because it's like, you're just posting yours.
Yeah.
You're just posting yours.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though.
After this entire discussion, I guess, do you feel nostalgic for 2016?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, still.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
do you feel more or less nostalgic now?
I feel less.
Because you got it out of your system.
I got it out of my system, and everyone else is on it, and I'm just like, I can't be partaking in it anymore. Like, it's so cringe.
I have to find a different trend.
And I will say, though, that you're like the majority of the people that answered our survey. 60% of people said they were nostalgic, and 30% said they were not. And for the remaining 10%, I think the math's right there, it was bittersweet. They said that there were things they missed, things they didn't, or things that they felt they missed, but like looking or reflecting further, it's not what it kind of was chalked up to be. So, anywho, hopefully next time we could have a more representative sample size. So follow along for the next survey that will come out when we have another topic that needs outside input.
Yay.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of
Did You Miss Me? Harmony.
That was crazy.